Let us move on to next question. Next question is we have to find the intersection of two lists using Java streams. I'll reiterate the question. We have to find the intersection of two lists using Java streams. So basically we have to print the common elements between the lists. So let's see how to do it using streams. So here I have created two lists, okay? So we have to find the intersection, the common elements between the two lists. So what we used to do in Java 7 world is, so basically we used to basically iterate on one of the list. In the second list, we used to check contains that element. If so, we used to print it. Create a list. This is for output. We are not changing the input list. So we can say intersection, and so we have to stream either of the list. I'll go with list one dot stream. So once we start streaming, next what we have to do is, in the normal way, we used to have some kind of an if check where we used to check list 2 contains whatever the element which we are getting from the list 1. So here what we can do is, we have to use filter. Filter does the same job. So list 2. So what we have to do is list 2 and we can do contains. So this does the magic and we can collect the result to a list. So we can just say to list. I hope it's clear. So let's print this result and see intersection. So basically this should print all the common elements between the two lists. Let us run and check the code. You can see it is printing 4 and 5. That is the intersection, the elements which are common between the two lists. So some people may get confused with this. So basically what we are doing is we are taking the element and from the first list and we are checking that is present in the second list. It's same as this. So let's say if it is an element, what I'm doing here is, so basically list 2 dot contains this element. So that's it. So this is what I'm doing. Instead of writing the lambda, we are going with method reference to make it simple. So even ID will only suggest that if you hover on it, right, it will say replace lambda with method reference. This is what I was doing. And let's say you have an option not to use the streams. Then you can go with another logic, simple logic. What you can do is, let's say you are allowed to change the input. Then you can go with some function called retainAll and list 2. So what it does is, it will basically retains only the common elements. So if I run this, you will see the result. You can see I'm getting an error here. So you must be thinking like retain all if you hover on it, right? It is just to basically retain the common elements and remove the excess element from the list one. But I'm getting this error mainly because if you have observed that error clearly, right? It was saying unmodifiable list. I'll just run one more time and show you. It's saying unsupported operation exception. If you see, right, like ideally this retain all should have basically given me the common elements, but I'm getting unsupported operation exception remove. So basically we are trying to remove something from the list one. But why it is failing is, if so why we are getting that error is, if you hover on this as list, right, it will clearly say if you are if you would like to change the size of this list, then it will create a problem. I hope it's clear. So basically, if you want to change this array list, then it will create a problem. Basically, it is an unmodifiable list. So it's an immutable list. You can't change it. So what you can do is, either you can change this creation method to make it mutable, or else one more way you can do is you can create a new list. So let's create a new list we'll call intersection only. So in intersection list, what I'll do is new array list. I'll take list one as an argument. So basically here, I'm taking a copy of list one. So now if I do list intersection retain all on list two, so basically intersection is now pointing to list one here. Here I'm doing remove, here I'm saying retain only the common elements. So now if I run, let me print this intersection. Now if I run, right, I don't get that error. You can see 4 and 5 is printed. I hope you understood the error. So basically this arrays as list, if you create, so basically if you run this arrays as list, it will give you an unmodifiable list. It's immutable in nature. So you can't remove or you can't add. Basically, you can't change the size of the list, but you can replace some elements. That is perfectly fine. But you can't change the structure or size of the array list. I hope you got it. So whenever you are using arrays as list, you should be mindful that it will create unmodifiable list. Means size of the array list can't be changed. Values can be updated, not deleted, or cannot be added also. I hope it's clear.